New York City, September 2025. The lights of Fashion Week had always been dazzling, but that night, they seemed to burn brighter. Calvin Klein's Spring-Summer 2026 show was already destined to be a headline grabber, but no one, not even the seasoned fashion critics, was prepared for what would happen when Jungkook walked into the room. It wasn't just his perfectly tailored Calvin Klein suit. It wasn't just his effortless charisma, the kind that seemed to silence the crowd without him saying a word. It was the fact that this was his first major public appearance since completing his military service. And then, somewhere backstage, in a moment captured only by a handful of journalists and cameras, Jungkook let slip the words that would ignite the fandom. "We are preparing something special. We want this to be our best album yet." 7 words. 7 words that turned a fashion show into a global news event. At first, it was just a murmur. A few fan accounts caught the snippet and rushed to post translations. Within 15 minutes, hashtags like #JungkookNYFW and #BestAlbumYet trended globally. Within an hour, mainstream outlets were running stories. Jungkook teases BTS album at Fashion Week. Within a day, it became clear. This wasn't just a hint. This was the beginning of BTS's return. For a fandom that had waited through the long years of military enlistments, solo projects, and endless speculation, Jungkook's words weren't just news. They were fuel. They were hope. They were everything. To anyone outside the BTS universe, Jungkook's words might sound simple, just another idol hyping up a new project. But for ARMY, the phrase "best album yet" carries a much deeper meaning. Best album yet means surpassing Map of the Soul 7, which broke records worldwide. It means outshining B, the comfort album of a pandemic generation. It means proving that even after military service, after years apart, after whispers of decline, BTS is not only still here, they are stronger. This is about more than music. It's about legacy. When BTS announced their military enlistments back in 2022, the world stopped. Fans cried, news outlets speculated, critics wondered, would they ever be the same after so many years apart? 3 years passed. Jungkook, like his brothers, served his country with quiet dignity. But even in uniform, he couldn't escape the spotlight. His solo projects, especially his 2023 album Golden, kept his name at the top of charts. His songs became anthems of longing, resilience, and love. Yet nothing, not even his massive solo success, could quiet the one question on every fan's lips. When will BTS come back together? Now finally, Jungkook had answered. Why Jungkook? Why was he the one to say it? The answer lies in his role within BTS. For years, Jungkook has been the group's golden maknae, the all-rounder, the voice that could soar, the dancer who moved like water, the face that represented both boyish charm and raw masculinity. But in the years leading up to enlistment, Jungkook's role expanded. He wasn't just performing songs, he was helping create them. He wasn't just following trends, he was setting them. When Jungkook says, "best album yet," it isn't just a promotional line, it's a declaration, a challenge, a promise. And ARMY believes him. The fandom wasted no time. Immediately, fans began piecing together potential clues. Could this album be connected to the Hybe Global Festival set for October 2025, where BTS is scheduled to headline? Could it include tracks secretly recorded during military service downtime, hinted at in past live streams? Could Jungkook's choice of words, "best album yet," mean this is the group's farewell masterpiece, or the beginning of a brand new era? The questions multiplied, but so did the excitement. Every BTS album has a soul. Wings was about temptation and growth. Love Yourself was about healing and self-acceptance. Map of the Soul was about inner journeys and self-discovery. So what will this album be about? Fans believe it will capture the pain of separation and the joy of reunion. The years apart, the struggles endured, the longing for music and fans, turned into songs that will pierce hearts across the world. And who better than Jungkook, the voice of a generation, to carry that message. Behind the excitement, however, lies a storm. Some critics have already begun questioning whether BTS can truly return to dominance after years away. The K-pop landscape has changed. New groups have risen. Global audiences have shifted. But ARMY has only one response: never bet against BTS. If Jungkook says this will be their best album yet, then the world better prepare, because history shows when BTS makes a promise, they deliver.
HYBE has already announced it: the new album, the world tour, the comeback. But what Jungkook did in New York Fashion Week wasn't just confirm plans, it was ignite a fire. He turned waiting into anticipation, silence into thunder. From now until the album drops, the world will hold its breath. Every teaser, every photo, every live stream will be dissected. Every clue will be magnified. Because this isn't just about music, it's about the rebirth of a legend. For ARMY, Jungkook's words weren't just a hint, they were a promise. A vow that the bond between BTS and their fans is unbreakable. And so, as the sun sets on 2025 and the dawn of 2026 approaches, one question lingers in the air, like a song waiting to be sung. Is this really BTS's best album yet? Or is it something even bigger? The beginning of a new chapter that will redefine music history forever? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: the world is watching, waiting, and ready. Because when Jungkook speaks, history listens. Before Jungkook dropped his hint at New York Fashion Week, the world already knew one thing. He wasn't just a performer, he was an era-defining artist. In 2023, while BTS members were gradually enlisting, Jungkook released his first full solo album, Golden. With songs like 7 and 3D, he didn't just conquer Korean charts, he dominated globally, becoming one of the most streamed K-pop soloists in Spotify history. That solo chapter was more than a project. It was a declaration of independence. Jungkook proved he could stand alone, that his artistry wasn't confined to the walls of BTS. But even in his brightest solo moments, fans noticed something. He always spoke about missing his members, about waiting for them, about the day they'd come together again. Now, when he says best album yet, fans believe it will be the ultimate bridge between his solo success and BTS's collective power. What could BTS's new album sound like? That's the burning question. Every BTS era has its unique sonic fingerprint. Wings 2016, dark, artistic, exploring temptation and growth. Love Yourself series 2017 to 2018, uplifting, global, focused on healing. Map of the Soul 7 2020, introspective, blending artistry with raw emotion. BE 2020, a diary of the pandemic, intimate and vulnerable. But now, after years of silence, the stakes are higher than ever. Fans speculate that the new album will combine raw maturity with experimental soundscapes. Jungkook's solo proved he thrives in R&B, pop, and EDM. RM and Suga have pushed boundaries with rap and production. Jimin has leaned into soulful ballads, V explored jazz-inspired melodies, J-Hope embraced hip-hop roots. Jin's emotional vocals soared. Imagine all of these influences merging into one record, a mosaic of experiences built from the pain of separation and the joy of reunion. The confirmation of a 2026 world tour adds another layer of excitement. This isn't just about releasing an album, it's about reclaiming the stage. Picture it: 7 men stepping back into a stadium filled with tens of thousands of fans chanting their names. The lights dim, the screens light up, the first note plays. The weight of years of waiting will collapse into a single scream from millions of voices. It won't just be a concert, it will be a historical event. And Jungkook, who once told fans he feared they might forget him during military service, will stand at the center, realizing that the bond between BTS and ARMY is unshakable. It's almost poetic that this monumental hint came not on a stage, but on a runway.
Fashion has always been part of BTS's identity, from Gucci suits to streetwear, from Dior collaborations to their Calvin Klein ambassador role. BTS has blurred the line between music and fashion. But Jungkook at New York Fashion Week wasn't just a model, he was a symbol. A man stepping confidently into a new era, not hiding behind the group's fame, but carrying their legacy forward. His words at Fashion Week didn't just echo in the venue, they traveled across the world, igniting discussions, theories, and tears. Because ARMY understood this wasn't small talk, this was a promise. Fans didn't take the news lightly. The internet exploded. On Weverse, fans posted emotional messages. I waited for years. Just hearing Jungkook say best album yet makes me feel alive again. I survived enlistment, I can survive anything. BTS, let's make history together. This is not just about music, it's about love, resilience, and forever. On X, formerly Twitter, Jungkook's Fashion Week clip surpassed 1 million mentions in less than 24 hours. TikTok was flooded with fan edits, each one pairing his runway walk with captions like, "The man who just changed music history again." For ARMY, it wasn't just news, it was healing.